Welcome, dear traveler. Tonight, we begin a calm journey together. This is not just any journey, but one that takes us far, far back into the deep folds of time, to a world 10,000 years ago, a time before cities, before kingdoms, before writing itself. The world you are about to step into is ancient, yet alive with the quiet rhythms of nature and the first stirrings of human history. This is your history sleep story, your relaxing historical bedtime journey, a soothing path into rest. So, before we begin, let's make sure you are comfortable. Let your body settle gently into the place where you rest. Take a slow, steady breath in, and let it ease out. Another breath, a little deeper this time, and out again, slower than before. With each exhale, your shoulders release tension, your jaw softens, your arms grow heavier. You are here, safe, at peace. The modern world can wait. Right now, you are carried into a story that will guide you gently into sleep. Imagine the room around you dimming, the noises of the day falling away, until all that remains is the faint hush of wind, the soft rustle of grass, the distant rhythm of waves on a far-off shore. These sounds are not only imagined, they are the echoes of the very world 10,000 years ago. A time when people lived by the fire, by the river, beneath endless skies full of stars. Close your eyes if they are not already closed. As you listen, picture the glow of a campfire flickering softly in the night, sparks lifting toward the heavens. Beyond the firelight lies a quiet plain, rolling hills, and the soft scent of earth. Around this place are figures, your ancestors, families of hunters and gatherers, resting after a long day of travel and discovery. You are among them now, a guest of history, welcomed into their world. Tonight's story is not rushed. It is slow, calm, and gentle, designed to soothe you into deep rest. As you listen, the past will unfold around you. People working, resting, preparing food, traveling through forests and open grasslands. You will walk with them, see as they see, and feel the peaceful rhythm of a life connected to the earth. Your mind may drift, and that is perfectly fine. In fact, it is encouraged. You may hear only fragments of the story, or you may find yourself fully immersed in its details. Either way, your body and mind will be cradled towards sleep. Every pause, every gentle description, every slow passage is here to support your relaxation. So take another breath in and out, deeper this time, slower this time. Imagine the weight of the world lifting from your chest. You are free now, free to step into a time untouched by modern noise. The year is not written, for numbers do not yet exist. The only measure of time is the sun rising and setting, the moon swelling and fading, the stars wheeling above in their eternal cycle. This is a world without cities, without written language, without machines. But it is not empty. It is full of life, lush valleys, winding rivers, the scent of pine and cedar, the calls of birds, and the warmth of a fire that protects and comforts through the night. And in this moment, you are here. You are part of it. You do not need to do anything except listen, breathe, and allow yourself to drift. Let the story become a gentle tide carrying you deeper into rest. Imagine your breath syncing with the rhythm of the ancient world. Inhale with the rise of the sun. Exhale with its gentle fall beyond the horizon. This is not just a history story. This is a relaxing historical bedtime story. A history sleep story meant for peace, not for study. It is history softened, slowed, stretched like twilight, so that it may guide you into dreams. You are safe here, at the beginning of this 2-hour journey. A guest of time, wrapped in calm. And now, dear listener, let us step quietly into this world 10,000 years ago. The night is calm. The fire is warm. The story begins. The air is cool. The first light of dawn spills across an untouched horizon. 10,000 years ago, the earth breathes differently than it does now. The skies are wider, the forest deeper, the grasslands stretching farther than the eye can see. This is the early Holocene, a time when the ice of the last great age has begun to retreat, leaving behind fertile valleys and sparkling rivers that cut across the land like silver threads. As you breathe slowly in and out, imagine standing at the edge of one such river. Its waters are clear, tumbling gently over smooth stones polished by centuries. The air carries the scent of wet earth, pine, and the faint sweetness of wildflowers clinging to the banks. Birds stir in the trees, their songs gentle, unhurried, as if greeting the new day with music instead of noise. Somewhere in the distance, a deer steps cautiously from the forest's edge to drink, its reflection trembling on the surface of the water. This is the world that shaped our ancestors. There are no cities here, no paved streets, no brick walls. Instead, the architecture of life is written in the land itself. The broad sheltering arms of trees, caves carved by stone and time, simple huts woven from reeds, mud and branches. These are homes not built for grandeur, but for rest, warmth and community. As the pale sun climbs higher, smoke begins to curl from small hearths where families gather, coaxing warmth into their morning meal. Breathe in deeply now, and imagine the smell of firewood carried on the morning air. Wood smoke, sharp yet comforting, blends with the earthy fragrance of dew-soaked grass. In this world, every sense is alive, attuned to the rhythm of nature. The crackle of fire, the taste of roasted roots, the brush of woven grass mats beneath tired feet. Life is simple, but it is vivid. As you picture this scene, know that you are not only watching from afar, you are stepping into it. You are part of this small community, a guest welcomed by people whose eyes reflect both caution and kindness. They live close to the land, yet they share it willingly with those who arrive in peace. When they look at you, they see not a stranger, but another human, shaped by the same sun and sky. Close your eyes more deeply now, and let the details surround you. A child runs past, laughing softly, carrying a small bundle of berries in their hands. An elder sits near the fire, carefully chipping stone into a blade, every tap of flint against rock ringing like a patient heartbeat. A woman weaves reeds into a basket, her fingers moving in a rhythm passed down through countless generations. This is daily life 10,000 years ago. There is no hurry here, no schedule but the sun and the seasons. Work is steady, but it flows like the river, balanced by rest, by laughter, by the quiet companionship of others. When food is prepared, it is shared. When stories are told, they are told for everyone, their words carrying wisdom that cannot be written, but will live on in memory. Take a slow, steady breath. Imagine the warmth of the fire on your skin. Hear the river flowing. Feel the hush of grass beneath your feet. You are not in the present now. You are walking back, far back, into the world of your ancestors. And here, in this place, you are safe. You are cradled by a time when the world was wide, and the night sky held no walls between you and the stars. The day begins in calm. The story unfolds slowly, gently, just as the light of dawn spreads across the horizon. You are ready to walk deeper into this ancient world. The sun has climbed higher now, spilling gentle warmth across the land. The mist that once clung to the river drifts upward, dissolving into the wide, pale sky. Before you stretches a vast landscape, one almost untouched by human hands. To the west, dense forests rise, dark green and endless, filled with tall oaks, birch and pine. Their trunks stand like pillars in a natural cathedral, their leaves whispering secrets to the wind. To the east, the land rolls into open grasslands, tall stalks bending and swaying in unison like an ocean of gold and green. Beyond them, distant hills shimmer in the morning light, soft outlines against the horizon. This is a world where nature sets the rhythm, and people live closely to it, as though they are part of the same heartbeat. The seasons dictate what is gathered, when to hunt, when to plant. Rain brings renewal, while drought teaches patience. Nothing is wasted. Everything is understood as a gift. As you walk further into this day, imagine the sounds around you. Birds calling overhead, some familiar, others strange to modern ears. Giant cranes that move with grace, geese honking across the sky, small songbirds fluttering among branches. In the grass, insects hum faintly, weaving an endless background note. Far away, the heavy steps of a wild ox echo through the meadow. This is the aurochs, ancestor of modern cattle, towering and broad, its horns sweeping high in a dangerous curve. To the people of this time, such animals are both awe-inspiring and essential. They provide hides for warmth, bones for tools, meat for survival. Yet they are never hunted carelessly. Every life taken is honored, every resource carefully used. Now picture the people themselves moving across the land. Some remain near the hearths, tending fires, drying fish on racks by the river, or grinding grain-like seeds gathered from wild grasses. Others venture into the forest in small groups, carrying baskets woven from reeds. Their task may be to gather nuts, berries, or roots, their eyes sharp for signs of edible plants. The knowledge they carry is vast and precise. Each leaf and stem has meaning, some to heal, some to nourish, others to avoid altogether. What seems like wilderness to you is, to them, a carefully read map, full of pathways and resources. A small hunting party moves silently in the opposite direction. They carry spears tipped with stone and bone, their steps measured and quiet, each foot placed as though listening to the earth before settling. Hunting is not always successful, and often it requires patience, hours of tracking, of waiting, of blending into the world around them. In this moment, though, they move with calm confidence, their senses attuned to every sound, every rustle of grass. Breathe deeply. The air here feels different, clean, cool, laced with the aroma of pine needles and the faint sweetness of blossoms hidden in the tall grass. The sky arches overhead, immense and unbroken, painted with soft blues and the occasional slow-drifting cloud. Without buildings to block it, the sky feels closer, as though you could almost reach out and touch it. Now, imagine walking with a group of women and children as they wander toward the water's edge. The women carry tools, stone scrapers, wooden sticks, woven baskets, and their conversation is low and steady, a background hum like the river itself. The children dart about, laughing softly as they chase one another through the reeds, pausing now and then to inspect a frog or collect smooth stones. There is joy here, woven seamlessly into survival, even in a life without luxury. Moments of play and laughter shine like sunlight on the water. You pause beside them, crouching near the bank. A woman kneels nearby, washing roots she has gathered, her hands moving slowly in the clear water. She looks up and smiles, not hurried, not suspicious, but calm, as though recognizing you as part of this small world. It is a smile that says, "You belong here too. Take another slow breath." You can hear the steady rhythm of life, the crackle of fire behind you, the steady flow of the river, the calls of birds carried on the wind. Nothing is rushed. The day stretches endlessly, and yet everything has its place, its task, its meaning. Here, in this world 10,000 years ago, survival and peace coexist. The people live with the land, not against it. Every moment is part of a larger rhythm, one that you are beginning to feel within yourself as you walk quietly among them. As the sun climbs higher, the heart of the settlement becomes more active. From a distance, you see the shapes of shelters clustered together in a loose ring, their forms blending with the natural world around them. Some are made of wooden poles tied together, their frames covered with hides sewn carefully and stretched tight. Others are low domes, woven with reeds and grasses, their entrances shaded to keep out the midday sun. Smoke drifts lazily from the tops of a few, carrying the scent of smouldering wood and roasted roots. The ground beneath your feet feels worn from many steps. Here children have played, running barefoot in circles until the dirt has pressed smooth. Here tools have been shaped, flakes of stone still glinting where they were struck off. Here fires have burned for days and weeks, leaving blackened circles that mark the passage of time. You step closer, and the rhythm of life surrounds you. A group of women sit together on woven mats, their hands busy with careful work. One smooths a hide with a scraper, drawing the edge across its surface in slow, steady strokes. Another twists fibers into string, rolling them carefully along her thigh until they tighten into a strong cord. A third grinds seeds with a stone, the circular motion steady and meditative, as though the movement itself were part of a prayer. Nearby, men return from their morning hunt. Their steps are quiet, their bodies lean and weathered from years of practice. One carries a bundle of fish strung together on a reed, their scales glimmering in the light. Another lays down a rabbit, its small form soon to be shared among many. These catches may seem small, but they are precious. Every bit of nourishment is celebrated, every piece stretched to feed the group. The camp is not silent. It hums with a low and steady energy, a harmony of tasks woven together. You hear the rhythmic tapping of stone against stone as a young man chips carefully at a flint core, shaping a blade with patient skill. Each strike creates a high, ringing sound followed by the soft fall of a sharp flake. Beside him, a boy watches with wide eyes, learning through observation, absorbing the slow ritual of craft that has been passed down for generations. Children weave through the space, their laughter soft and light. They play with carved sticks and smooth stones, inventing games that echo the movements of their elders. One child pretends to hunt, creeping along with a slender branch as though it were a spear, while another mimics the grinding of grain, pushing a pebble across the earth. These small imitations are not only play but practice, the seeds of memory that will one day grow into survival. You notice the fire at the center of the camp, burning steadily, its flames low but enduring. This fire is more than warmth. It is the heart of the settlement. Around it, people gather to cook, to speak, to sit in silence. The smoke curls upward, carrying with it not just heat, but a sense of safety. At night, the fire will push back the dark, keeping away both the chill and the unseen eyes of predators. For now, in the middle of the day, it is a place of comfort, glowing softly in the air. A woman tends a pot made of hardened clay, rare and valuable in this time. Inside, a stew simmers, made of roots, herbs, and pieces of fish. The scent rises gently, earthy and nourishing. Food is not only sustenance, but a gathering point, a reminder of the group's bond. No one eats alone. Meals are shared, stories told, silences held together like woven threads. As you sit near the fire, you feel yourself drawn into this rhythm. The tasks are simple, yet they hold weight. Every scrape of a hide, every chipped stone, every flicker of flame is part of a greater whole. There is no rush here, no need for haste. Time flows in long waves, measured not by clocks or calendars, but by the cycles of the sun, the growth of plants, the return of animals, and the change of seasons. Breathe slowly. Imagine the warmth of the fire on your skin, the faint grit of earth beneath your hands, the soothing repetition of daily life unfolding all around you. Here in this camp, you are safe. You are part of something both fragile and enduring, something ancient and deeply human. This world of 10,000 years ago welcomes you, not as an outsider, but as a quiet witness, resting in the steady heartbeat of life. The morning inside the settlement has been calm, gentle, and steady. Now the world beyond the circle of shelters begins to call. You rise from the warmth of the fire, stepping lightly over the soft earth, moving slowly and without urgency. The voices of the camp fade behind you, replaced by the sounds of wind brushing through grasses and the distant murmur of water. You take a deep breath, filling your lungs with the coolness of air unmarked by cities or smoke. There is no rush here, no destination pressed upon you. The day stretches out in a long ribbon of possibility, and you are invited simply to follow it at your own pace. Around you, the landscape expands. Rolling grasslands stretch far and wide, dotted with clusters of trees whose leaves glisten faintly with dew. The sun rises slowly overhead, its warmth soaking into your skin, carried by a breeze that smells faintly of wildflowers and freshly turned soil. Somewhere in the distance a bird calls, its tone long and clear, carrying like a soft bell. This is the beginning of your relaxing historic journey, a walk not into haste, but into stillness, into the very rhythms of a world 10,000 years past. Listener, POV. The path to the river. You follow a narrow trail, marked faintly by footsteps that have worn it smooth over time. The grass bends under your movement, swaying back once you pass. The ground is soft here, earthy and damp. The trail leads you toward the sound of running water, and with each step, the murmur of the river grows clearer. When at last you arrive, the river greets you like an old friend. Its surface glitters with shifting light, tiny waves catching the sun. The current moves steadily, but not fast, a quiet strength that carves its path through the land. Along its banks, reeds sway gently, brushing against one another with a hushed whisper. You kneel at the water's edge, dipping your fingers into the cool stream. The sensation is grounding, connecting, timeless. Imagine the countless hands over countless years that have touched this same kind of river, drawing sustenance, comfort, and reflection. You drink deeply, the water fresh, tasting faintly of stone and earth. Across the water, you notice deer moving silently through the trees. Their bodies are slender, their movements graceful, each step cautious yet fluid. They pause to drink as you do, untroubled by your quiet presence. Here, the world holds balance, predator and prey, earth and water, life and silence, woven together in steady harmony. From another side of the river, a figure approaches. A young gatherer, no older than 17, carries a basket woven from reeds, half filled with roots and herbs. His steps are careful but unhurried, his eyes scanning the edges of plants, his hands gentle as he selects only what is needed. He pauses, looking up at the sky, then down to the water. He sees you, though in this place, recognition is quiet, free of surprise. Strangers here are not strangers for long. They are simply part of the same land. He sits near you, dipping his basket briefly in the water to keep the roots moist. His face is calm, sun-warmed, marked with faint traces of soil. For a while no words are exchanged, only silence shared in comfort. Then softly, he begins to hum. It is not a song with words, but a melody older than memory, a rising and falling tone, like wind through reeds, like water over stone. It is the kind of song sung not for an audience, but for the earth itself. The hum settles around you like a blanket, soothing, steady, familiar even in its strangeness. Together, you follow the river downstream, walking slowly along its banks. The path is uneven, but it does not matter. There is no need for haste. Each step is deliberate, grounding you deeper into this world. The sun rises higher, warming the grasses until they release their scent into the air. You can smell green, fresh, living things, plants that will be gathered for food, for medicine, for ritual. Bees drift lazily from flower to flower, their buzzing steady and low, adding a gentle undertone to the symphony of the day. You and the young gatherer pass a cluster of stones where tools have been left behind. Flint flakes scatter across the ground, sharp-edged, glimmering faintly in the light. A spear leans against a tree, its point carefully bound with sinew. These are not possessions in the sense of ownership, but part of a shared resource. Tools pass from hand to hand, crafted and recrafted, each carrying the memory of those who shaped it. The boy picks up one of the flakes and holds it toward you. Its edge is keen, almost translucent. He places it gently in your palm, showing you how something so small, so fragile-looking, can split wood, cut hide, or carve bone. You return it with care, and he tucks it into his basket, a reminder of utility and simplicity. Soon, the river opens into a wide meadow, its grasses tall and golden under the sun. Here the air feels lighter, open, filled with space. You sit among the grasses, letting them sway around you, their tips brushing lightly against your skin. The gatherer moves a short distance away, crouching to dig roots with a pointed stick. His movements are unhurried, his attention wholly present. Watching him, you feel your own breath slow, your own body loosen. There is no tension here, no weight of future or past, only the simplicity of earth, root, hand, breath. Above you, the sky stretches endlessly, pale blue brushed with thin clouds. A hawk circles slowly, its wings spread wide, gliding on unseen currents. The sight is mesmerizing, its motion effortless, unbound. Closing your eyes, you allow yourself to sink into the moment, into the hum of insects, the rustle of grass, the warmth of sun. This is more than a meadow, it is a cradle, a resting place, a quiet reminder of how the ancient world breathes with patience. The young gatherer finishes his task, placing the last roots carefully into his basket. He straightens, stretches, and looks toward the horizon. The sun has begun its slow descent, shifting the light into warmer tones. Evening will soon arrive, and with it, rituals that bind the settlement together. He gestures for you to follow, leading the way back along the river path. The walk is quiet, unbroken by urgency. The earth itself seems to exhale as the day softens, shadows stretching longer across the land. As you walk, he speaks for the first time. His words are soft, measured, spoken in a tongue shaped by this early time. Though you cannot understand every word, the meaning comes through. The river is sacred, the earth generous, the fire eternal. He speaks as though the land is not just a place, but a living presence, a companion, a guardian. You nod, listening, absorbing. His words linger in the air like echoes of something half-remembered, ancient secrets whispered through time. By the time you return to the settlement, the campfire is already lit, its glow soft and inviting. The smell of roasting food drifts through the air, mixing with the faint sweetness of grasses crushed underfoot. The people gather slowly, their bodies weary from the day, yet filled with quiet energy. You sit among them, feeling the closeness of community, the warmth of shared presence. The young gatherer sets down his basket, the roots soon to become part of the evening meal. The fire crackles, sparks rising like stars. One by one, voices soften, laughter fades, and attention turns inward. As the sky deepens to twilight, a storyteller steps forward, her voice carrying like the gentle rhythm of the river. She speaks of the sun and the moon, of animals that walk between worlds, of spirits that breathe in stone and water. Her voice is slow, melodic, weaving dream and memory. Around you, heads nod, eyes half closed, bodies leaning closer to the fire. The flames dance, shadows flicker, time itself seems to loosen. The stars begin to appear, faint at first, then brighter, scattered across the wide sky. The air cools, brushing against your skin like silk. You feel the weight of the day ease from your shoulders, replaced by the softness of night. The storyteller's voice lowers, trailing off into silence. The fire continues to glow, steady and calm. The people settle, lying down upon hides and mats, drawing blankets of woven grass around them. You close your eyes, hearing the last whispers of the river in the distance, the hum of insects, the sigh of wind. You are safe here, wrapped in the ancient rhythm of life. This is not just a story of history, it is a story of rest, of return, of remembering the quiet places within. And as the night embraces you, you drift gently into the heart of this peaceful bedtime history, where time itself slows and sleep comes like a gentle tide. The evening has fully descended now. The sun has left the horizon, sinking into the edge of the earth. and the sky has deepened into hues of velvet blue. Around you, the settlement glows gently with the presence of firelight. Each flame is a small sun of its own, warm and protective, chasing shadows just far enough to allow comfort, but not so far that the mystery of the dark disappears. The voices of the people murmur low, like the flow of a distant stream. No one hurries. There is no demand. Night itself is an invitation to slow, to soften, to release the weight of the day. You take a seat close to the great fire in the center. The flames rise and fall, wood crackling softly, sending sparks upward into the air. They drift like stars before fading into the night. For a moment, it is difficult to tell where fire ends and the heavens begin. You glance around the circle. Families sit together, their shoulders brushing gently. Children curl into the arms of their mothers, their eyes heavy, half asleep already. Hunters, weary from their long paths, lean back against logs or stones, their bodies loosening with each flicker of firelight. Gatherers rest their hands, baskets now empty, while their voices mingle with laughter, soft and fading. The fire draws everyone in. Its rhythm is slow, steady, hypnotic. You feel its warmth seep into your skin, soothing any ache, easing any thought that still lingers from the day. Someone passes a wooden bowl toward you. Inside is a simple meal. Roots roasted in the coals, their skins crisp, their insides soft and warm. You take one, tasting the earth itself, a sweetness carried by smoke. It grounds you, connects you. You eat slowly, with no need to rush, each bite dissolving gently. Across the circle, an elder sits in silence. Her hair is long, silvered by many seasons, her eyes reflecting both firelight and the stars above. In her lap rests a carved staff, smoothed by years of hands. She waits until the voices grow quieter, until the children's breathing steadies, until the night itself leans in to listen. Then, with a breath deep and slow, she begins to speak. Her words are measured, her tone gentle, carrying like ripples on still water. She does not rush. Each phrase has weight, each pause its own meaning. She speaks of the sky, the great expanse overhead, the scattered lights that guide the people through time. She tells of how the first fires were gifted by the heavens, sparks fallen from the stars themselves, given to humankind so that they might carry light even when the sun is gone. Her voice weaves through the air, steady, melodic, soothing. The children's eyes flutter closed, drawn deeper into dreams. Adults nod slowly, their bodies swaying slightly, lulled by the rhythm. You tilt your head upward, gazing into the night. The stars are countless, scattered like grains of salt across an endless canvas. Some shine faintly, others blaze bright. Slowly you begin to trace patterns, lines connecting one point of light to another. They seem to form figures, shapes that shift as you blink, as though alive. The elder's voice continues. She tells of hunters written into the heavens, of animals immortalized in constellations, of rivers of light that flow eternally. Her words and the stars blend into one, until you are unsure whether you are looking at the sky or listening to a story, or perhaps both at once. The air is cooler now, carrying the faint scent of smoke and herbs. You wrap yourself more tightly in the blanket of sound and warmth, letting the fire crackle, letting the stars wheel slowly above. The elder lowers her voice further until it is almost a hum. Then another voice joins her, soft and low, beginning a song. Soon, two more voices follow, then more still, until the entire circle hums together in one tone. It is not a song of words, but of vibration, long, extended notes that weave into harmony. The sound is steady, like the earth itself breathing, It seems to rise from the fire, from the stars, from the river not far away. The song drifts into you, settling into your chest, into your breath. Your own hum joins without effort, your voice blending with the circle. No one leads, no one follows. It is one sound, shared among many, endless and calm. When at last the song dissolves into silence, the night feels even deeper, as though the air itself has softened. Your mind drifts now, wandering gently. You think of the river you walked beside earlier, of the deer who bent their heads to drink, of the meadow golden in the sunlight. Each image drifts in and out like clouds across the moon. None stay for long. They simply pass, slow and peaceful. The elder speaks again, but now her words are fewer, softer, almost like dreams themselves. She speaks of ancestors whose footsteps remain in the earth, of voices that echo in stone and fire, of time as a circle without beginning or end. As you listen, you feel your own edges blur. You are no longer separate from this circle, this night, this history. You are simply part of it, woven in, timeless, whole. The people begin to settle. Some lie down near the fire, wrapping themselves in skins and grass blankets. Others retreat to shelters, their figures dimming into shadows. The elder remains still and calm, her gaze lifted toward the stars. A young child stirs restlessly, murmuring in her sleep. The elder bends, brushing her forehead gently, humming once more. The child settles, her breath steadying, her face softening into dreams. The gatherer you met earlier finds a place near the fire, setting his basket aside. He rests his head upon his arm, eyes half closed, yet still watching the flames. His face is peaceful, loose, free of strain. You remain awake a little longer, watching the fire. Its flames rise and fall in endless motion, hypnotic, soothing. The logs shift softly, sending sparks upward. Each spark drifts higher, fading into the sky. For a moment, it feels as though they rejoin the stars, returning to the heavens from which they first came. Your breath slows to match the rhythm of the flames. Inhale with the glow, exhale with the crackle. The longer you watch, the heavier your eyes become. Each blink lasts longer, each breath deeper. The sounds around you soften, the fire's hum, the sigh of wind through grasses, the distant call of a night bird. Together they weave a lullaby older than language, inviting you to surrender to it fully. The circle is quiet now. Most have drifted into sleep, their breathing soft and even. The elder has set aside her staff, her eyes closed, her body leaning gently into rest. The gatherer too is stilled, his basket empty, his spirit calm. The fire burns lower, embers glowing red against the darkness. Above, the stars shimmer, patient, eternal. You close your eyes once more, the last thing you feel being the warmth of the fire on your skin and the coolness of the night air across your face. The balance is perfect. Heat and cool, light and dark, wakefulness and sleep. The settlement sighs as one body, one breath, and you are part of it, part of the night. The settlement has grown hushed now. The laughter and voices have faded, leaving only the low crackle of the fire and the gentle chorus of night. A calm rests over everything, as though the earth itself has exhaled and gone still. The fire burns lower, embers glowing softly like a bed of stars beneath your gaze. The light flickers across faces lying in sleep, foreheads smooth, jaws unclenched, lips parted in breath. Each person is carried somewhere deeper, beyond the reach of waking sight. You sit a moment longer, listening. The night is never truly silent. You hear the faint call of an owl from the trees, the chirr of insects hidden in the grass, the distant ripple of the river as it moves endlessly on. These sounds do not disturb. Instead, they soothe, wrapping you in a blanket of continuity. The world goes on, and you are part of it. You rise quietly, stepping away from the fire, your feet bare against the soft earth. Around you, shelters lean gently beneath the sky, their walls of woven reeds casting faint shadows. Inside, families are curled together, their bodies radiating warmth. A soft murmur escapes here, a sigh there, the language of sleep. You pass a child who has rolled onto her back, her face tilted toward the stars. Her breath is steady, rising and falling, as if she is breathing the night sky into herself. Her small hand curls loosely, fingers opening and closing, as though reaching for something in a dream. Farther along, you find two hunters sleeping side by side, their bows resting against a log near their heads. Even in slumber, they remain close to their tools, yet their faces are gentle, softened by the surrender of rest. The camp feels both vast and intimate. Each sleeper holds a private world of dreams, yet all those dreams float together in the same night air, woven like threads into a single tapestry. At the far edge of the settlement sits a figure, one of the watchers. Every night, someone remains awake to tend the fire, to listen for movement in the grass, to guard the safety of those who sleep. Tonight it is a young man, not much older than the hunters you passed. He sits with knees drawn close, a spear resting against his shoulder. His gaze is lifted upward, not out toward the fields but into the endless sky. The stars reflect in his eyes, countless, eternal. His breath is slow, his body still, his mind drifting far beyond the camp. He is not lonely. The night is company enough. The embers shift and glow, and the stars seem to answer with their quiet shimmer. From time to time he closes his eyes, humming softly, a rhythm to keep him awake. Yet his hum is low, soothing, as though it too belongs to sleep. You step beyond the last circle of shelters and find yourself in the open meadow. The grass bends softly beneath your steps, cool with dew. Overhead, the stars stretch wider, unhindered by smoke or roof. You lie back upon the earth, the soil firm, the ground breathing its quiet strength into your body. The sky feels close here, as though you could reach upward and touch it. Each star holds a story, each constellation a memory passed through countless voices. You remember the elder's words, her voice weaving hunters and animals and rivers into the night. Now, staring upward, you see them for yourself. A line of stars becomes the curve of a great beast. Another cluster shapes a bird mid-flight. The longer you gaze, the more the stars seem to shift, rearranging themselves, forming shapes that speak directly to you. Your breath slows. Each inhale is cool, filled with night air. Each exhale releases warmth back into the earth. You are breathing with the world. In one of the shelters, a woman stirs. Her eyes flutter beneath closed lids, her breath uneven, caught in the current of a dream. In her vision, the meadow glows with light not of sun or moon, but of fire spread across the ground. Yet the fire does not burn. It blossoms, like flowers of flame, opening petals of gold and red. She walks among them without fear. Each flame sways gently, as though greeting her. They whisper, voices older than words, telling her of the cycle of life, of ancestors who stand behind her, of children yet to come. She reaches out to touch a flame, and it dissolves into sparks, rising upward to rejoin the stars. When she wakes, she will not remember all of this. Yet some part will remain, guiding her, comforting her, as dreams often do. You close your eyes beneath the sky. At first you see only the afterglow of firelight, patterns of red and orange dancing across your vision. Slowly, those colours fade into shapes, into soft impressions. A river winding, a hand reaching, a field of tall grass swaying endlessly. You do not try to hold them, you simply let them come and go. Images floating by, dissolving as quickly as they appear. The ground beneath you feels softer now, as though you are no longer lying on soil, but on something deeper, more endless. Your body is heavy, yet your mind drifts free, untethered. The sounds of the night fade in and out, sometimes sharp, sometimes distant, as though you are already stepping into a dream. Some say that when a community sleeps together beneath the same sky, their dreams intertwine. The elder believes this. She has spoken of it often, that sleep is not separate, but shared, that the same wind drifts through every dream, binding them quietly together. Tonight, the dreams of the settlement are carried on the same breath. One hunter dreams of chasing a stag, while another dreams of the same animal standing still, gazing back. A gatherer dreams of seeds taking root, and a child dreams of running through a field already golden with harvest. The dreams overlap, echo, answer one another. Like voices in song, they blend into harmony. The settlement sleeps as one body, one mind, one dream. Time passes unnoticed. The stars shift slightly, tilting toward the promise of dawn. The air grows cooler, the grass damp against your skin. Somewhere in the distance, a bird calls, a signal that night is beginning its slow surrender to morning. You open your eyes, gazing once more at the fading stars. They are softer now, less sharp, as though already dimming against the light to come. You rise slowly, stretching your arms, feeling the heaviness of rest still pulling at you. The camp remains quiet, most still deep in dream. Only the watcher stirs, placing another log onto the fire, coaxing it gently back to life. The embers flare, sparks rising once more. It feels like a heartbeat, steady and constant, carrying the night into morning. You return to the circle, finding your place once again by the fire. Its warmth greets you like an old friend, steady and patient. You wrap your blanket close, letting your body sink into comfort. The settlement breathes around you, soft sighs, gentle movements, the murmur of dreams. Above, the sky waits for dawn. For now, you rest in the in-between, half in waking, half in dream, carried by the rhythm of a world 10,000 years ago. The fire glows, the stars fade, the night exhales one final time, and slowly, softly, the first edge of morning stirs. The evening deepens, and you feel the hush of the world settling around you. The campfire glow from the settlement fades into the distance, replaced by a darker quiet, where the air feels cooler against your skin. Ahead, a path winds gently upward toward a structure that seems to stand both within time and outside of it. It is not a palace in the sense you may imagine with marble and grandeur, nor a temple of soaring spires. Instead, it is a building of earth, of stone, of wood. Yet in its presence you sense reverence. This is where the people gather when night falls, a place both communal and sacred. The sound of your footsteps softens as you step onto a packed earthen threshold. Torches flicker on either side of the entrance, their flames bending gently with the evening breeze. The walls around you are smoothed clay, painted in ochre reds and soft whites, marked by handprints and symbols whose meanings are half familiar, half forgotten. Some spiral like the turning of the seasons, Some stretch in lines like rivers flowing into the distance. You pause for a moment, letting your eyes adjust to the dim light. The cool air carries a faint smell of smoke mixed with resin, perhaps sap burned as offering, or herbs gathered from the fields. Inside, the temple, or hall, for it is both, feels larger than you expected. The ceiling rises overhead, supported by thick beams of wood, darkened by years of smoke. The walls are lit with scattered flames in stone bowls, their light uneven and soft, leaving shadows that sway and shift as though alive. The people who gather here are not in a rush. They move slowly, deliberately, as though each step is measured. Some sit along the walls, their backs resting against stone, eyes closed, hands folded in their laps. Others stand in silence, gazing at the painted walls as though the symbols themselves are alive with memory. And you, too, feel yourself slow, your breathing naturally easing into a steady rhythm. A figure steps forward, not to greet you directly, but to move past with a calm presence. An elder, perhaps, or a keeper of this place. Their hair is streaked with grey, their robes simple, woven from thick fibres dyed with natural colours. In their hands, they carry a shallow bowl of glowing embers. Each step they take leaves a faint trail of fragrance in the air, sweet herbs and earthy smoke. They set the bowl in the centre of the room, where a circle of stones forms a hearth. The glow expands, warming the faces of those seated nearby. No words are spoken. Instead, there is simply stillness, an unspoken agreement that this place exists for something beyond speech. You sit near the hearth as well, the warmth reaching you, the fire crackling softly, echoing faintly against the clay walls. For a moment, let yourself imagine the significance of such a place in this world. 10,000 years ago, this was not merely a hall for worship, nor a palace for rulers, but something more fluid. These were the first spaces built to last, designed not only for shelter, but for meaning. Long before cities rose, before monuments pierced the skies, there were these early halls where community gathered to connect with forces larger than themselves. The earth, the sun, the cycles of time. Some archaeologists believe that even the earliest temples, like those discovered at places such as Göbekli Tepe, were not for daily living, but for ritual, suggesting that spirituality and meaning came even before agriculture had fully settled into permanence. In other words, before bread was daily, belief already was. The elder by the fire begins to move their hands, tracing slow, deliberate shapes in the air. The others respond not with voices, but with quiet gestures, their palms opening, their heads bowing slightly. It is not a spectacle. It is a rhythm, a shared understanding. You close your eyes, and for a while, you only listen. The fire pops softly, the faint shuffle of cloth against stone, the deep silence between each sound. And then, faintly, a low hum rises, not a song as you may know it, with melody and words, but a single note held in unison. It reverberates in your chest, calming, steady, almost like the hum of the earth itself. The sound builds only slightly, weaving in and out as others join. The hall becomes filled not with noise but with resonance. You feel it in your body, deep and grounding. You imagine, perhaps, that such sounds once aligned people's hearts with each other, their breathing with the fire, their sense of self with the whole community. The hum fades slowly, gradually, until silence takes its place once again. When your eyes open, the elder has placed small carved figures near the fire. They are simple, stones shaped into animals, perhaps deer or birds, with rounded edges worn by hands. One you notice resembles the sun, a circle with lines radiating outward. Another resembles a crescent moon. These may be offerings, or they may be stories told in objects. History reminds us that humans have always used symbols to connect with the unseen. Not merely to decorate, but to carry meaning forward from one generation to the next. And here, in this quiet hall, you feel that continuity stretch across time. A young child sits across from you, their gaze fixed on the fire. Their mother rests a hand gently on their shoulder. The child's eyes reflect the flame, wide with wonder, as though absorbing not only warmth, but wisdom. It reminds you that for thousands of years, stories were not written in books, but spoken beside firelight, passed through memory, carried in hearts. The elder begins to extinguish some of the torches, one by one. The hall grows dimmer, shadows stretching longer, darkness folding gently over the gathering. This is not an end but a transition, a reminder that night has deepened, that rest is near. You stand, following the slow movement of the others toward the wide entrance. The air outside greets you, cool and fresh, carrying the faint scent of damp earth. The stars above have multiplied since you entered, glittering more brightly now in the moonless sky. Behind you, the temple remains quiet, its torches now only embers. Ahead, the world stretches open once again. The hush of the settlement lies at your back, the expanse of night before you. And so, you begin to walk, leaving behind the echo of stone walls and entering the vastness of the evening. Each step feels lighter, each breath deeper, as though you carry with you the calm stillness of the temple. The path winds downward, toward water, toward the sound of a river murmuring in the dark. The flicker of torchlight fades fully now, replaced by the softer silver of starlight. You follow the curve of the land step by step into the gentle embrace of night. The path slopes downward until the sound of running water grows clearer. First, a faint murmur like whispered voices in the dark. Then, the distinct trickle of streams joining into one steady flow. Soon, the river itself comes into view, a wide ribbon of darkness that catches and reflects the starlight above. You pause at the edge, where reeds sway gently in the night breeze. Their hollow stalks rustle softly, a rhythm that matches the slow pulse of the water. Somewhere nearby, a frog croaks low, answered by another across the riverbank. The scene feels alive, yet unhurried. Each sound spaced apart by silence, each movement slow and deliberate, as though the night itself is breathing. You lower yourself onto a smooth stone, cool beneath your hands. The river passes before you, flowing endlessly, carrying leaves, twigs, and perhaps memories from far upstream. 10,000 years ago, rivers were more than water. They were lifelines. They provided fish, clay for vessels, water for crops, and paths for travel long before roads were carved. Settlements rose near rivers not by chance but by necessity. To live near flowing water was to live within the heartbeat of the earth. As you sit there, you imagine the lives gathered around this very river. Children splashing in daylight, hunters returning at dusk with reeds bundled on their shoulders, women kneeling at its edge to wash, the soft pounding of clothes against stone mingling with the laughter of companions. All these sounds may have filled the air here in sunlight, yet now the river keeps its own counsel, whispering only to the night. The air carries a cool mist, dampening your skin lightly, refreshing. Overhead the sky spreads vast and open, a canvas of stars. Without the glow of cities, the heavens reveal their full expanse. Thousands upon thousands of points of light, scattered across infinite blackness. The longer you look, the more you see. tiny flickers at the edge of vision, pale bands like smoke drifting across. The great river of stars we now call the Milky Way stretching wide and luminous. For the people of this time, the stars were not distant suns. They were ancestors, spirits, guides. Their arrangements carried meaning. Their movements marked seasons. A cluster rising at dawn might signal planting. Another vanishing at dusk might mark the time to harvest. The night sky was not a backdrop. It was a calendar, a storybook, a compass. You lean back, lying fully against the stone, your eyes open to the heavens. For a moment, you imagine what it must have felt like to see this vastness without the knowledge of telescopes, yet with the wisdom of stories. Perhaps you would see in those stars the great hunt of the sky, or a river mirroring the one before you. Perhaps you would imagine your own path traced among them, a thread connecting you to generations past and those yet to come. Nearby, another figure appears. A young man, perhaps, carrying a small torch. He lowers it to the riverbank, where its light dances across the water, golden ripples mingling with silver stars. In his hand, he holds a piece of hollow reed, and as he raises it to his lips, a soft note drifts out, a simple flute, carved and shaped by fire and patience. The sound is low, wavering at first, then steady. A melody forms, slow and gentle, echoing across the river like the call of a bird. Each note rises, then falls like breathing, like the flow of water itself. The sound is neither performance nor spectacle. It is offering, or perhaps comfort. In the stillness of night, the flute's voice weaves into the fabric of the river and the sky. You close your eyes and simply listen. The music is not complex, but it does not need to be. It repeats, shifts, lingers. The notes stretch time, each one fading slowly into the quiet before the next appears. And then silence returns, as naturally as sleep follows day. The young man lowers the flute, gazes at the stars, and rests by the firelight. You sense that this music may not have been for you, or for the river, but simply for being, for the rhythm of life itself. Long ago, before written scores and concert halls, music lived in moments like this, improvised, offered, shared between people and the world around them. Archaeologists have found flutes made of bird bone from nearly 40,000 years ago, proof that melody has always been with us. Here, in this riverside scene, you feel the continuity of that truth, that even 10,000 years ago, the human need for song was as strong as the need for food, water, or fire. The river continues its endless journey, weaving through the land. Somewhere far downstream, it will meet other waters, and eventually the sea. Yet here, in this quiet place, it seems content to move slowly, as though aware of your presence. You sit, breathing with the rhythm of the current. Inhale, steady and deep. Exhale, slow and releasing. The river moves. The stars shine. The air cools. All is aligned. Time drifts. You may not know how long you remain there. Minutes, hours perhaps. But in this place, time loses urgency. The world is measured not by clocks, but by the glow of the stars and the flow of the water. At last you rise, following a narrow path along the riverbank. The reeds part gently with each step, brushing against your legs. They're whispering a soft farewell. The moon has begun to rise now, pale and full, casting a silver glow across the land. Its reflection dances across the river's surface, breaking into fragments of light with each ripple. You pause once more, gazing out. The night feels complete, balanced. Above you, infinity. Beside you, eternity. Within you, calm. And so you continue forward, carrying with you the stillness of the temple and the serenity of the river. Each breath is lighter now, each step slower, as though your body is preparing itself for rest. Far ahead, the land opens into gentle plains, where silence deepens further. Stars stretch endlessly above, and the horizon blends into shadow. You know the journey will continue. But for now, the riverside and the sky have left their mark, guiding you gently toward dreams. The night deepens. The river fades behind you, its murmur dissolving into the stillness of the plains. Ahead, only shadows remain. Gentle hills, the faint outline of trees, and the endless canopy of stars. The world feels quieter now. Even the wind seems to rest, its breath softer, more subdued. It is in this calm that reflection begins to stir, not rushed, not forced, but rising slowly, like the moon lifting above the horizon. You pause, allowing your thoughts to wander. You have walked through a world of 10,000 years ago, touched its temples, breathed its river air, listened to its simple songs. Now, you stand still, letting the impressions of this ancient time settle within you, and you begin to see not just the places you have walked, but the legacy they hold in 1,000 years. It feels like an unfathomable stretch of time, and yet, within the vastness of human history, it is not so distant. Back then, people tilled the earth with simple tools, carried water from rivers, and gathered around fires as the night drew near. Their homes were built of clay, reeds, and wood. Their stories were carved into memory, spoken across generations. You picture their laughter, the laughter of children chasing one another across open fields. You picture the solemnity of rituals, smoke rising from small fires, voices chanting under the stars. You imagine the weight of their hopes, their fears, their quiet prayers to the sky above. And you realize that in many ways they were not so different from us. Though these streets and riverbanks are silent now, they once carried footsteps. They once echoed with music, with words, with life. The same constellations above them now shine above you. The same moon that reflected in their rivers reflects in yours. The earth turns, and the cycle of humanity continues. This thought brings a certain stillness, a grounding. It connects you not only to the past, but to all who have lived before. Their world has faded into dust, yet their presence lingers, woven into the soil, etched into the stones, breathed out into the air you now inhale. You feel the immensity of time, yet you also feel its intimacy. For history is not distant. It lives in the rhythm of your breath, the beating of your heart, the very starlight that guides your eyes tonight. You close your eyes. For a moment, you let the silence deepen further. In this pause, images flicker like embers. The palace walls glowing in lamplight, the temple's stillness, the river's slow current, all of it returns, not as separate places, but as one memory, one dream. And with the dream comes understanding. The people of long ago were not merely surviving. They were building, they were planting seeds, not just in the soil, but in culture, in memory, in meaning. Every tool they shaped, every ritual they performed, every song they sang became part of the tapestry that now holds us. You imagine them gazing at the stars as you do now, perhaps wondering the same things. Where do we come from? What lies beyond? Will tomorrow bring harvest or hardship? Their questions echo still. Their wonder is our wonder. A gentle breeze brushes across your skin. The air feels cooler now, filled with the scent of night grasses. You walk slowly across the plain, each step deliberate, each sound softened by the earth. You think of how fragile their world must have felt. A failed harvest could mean hunger. A wounded hunter might alter the fate of a family. Yet within that fragility lay resilience. They adapted, endured, carried knowledge forward. And so did we. So do we. The echoes of their hands, their voices, their choices continue in you. A memory rises, perhaps not your own, but one belonging to humanity itself. A memory of firelight, faces glowing in its warmth, stories told not from books, but from lips, passed on through trust and togetherness. Stories of creation, of spirits in the rivers, of gods in the mountains, of ancestors shining in the sky. These stories were not mere entertainment. They were anchors guiding people through darkness, reminding them that they belong to something greater. And now, as you drift into this reflective stillness, you too feel the weight and the comfort of belonging. You are part of this vast continuum, this unbroken line of human experience stretching across millennia. The stars above seem brighter still. You lie back once more, resting against the soft grass. Every constellation feels alive, shimmering as though trying to speak. The Milky Way spills across the sky, its band of light so vivid it seems like a path, a river of stars echoing the rivers below. For a long time, people saw in that star river the journey of souls, the migration of spirits, or the road to other realms. Tonight, as you gaze upward, you too may feel that sense of passage, that life is a journey, and that dreams themselves may be bridges across time. You notice how silence gathers in layers. First, the quiet of the plains, then the quiet of your own breath, then a deeper quiet still, the stillness of thought beginning to dissolve, the stillness that welcomes rest. You reflect on what has passed in these hours of gentle wandering. You have walked among ancient people. You have listened to their music. You have stood within their sacred spaces. You have traced their rivers and gazed at their skies. And now, as the journey reaches its soft close, you realize that this reflection is not about the past alone. It is about you, about all of us, about how the threads of history weave endlessly into the present, reminding us of our place in something vast, yet comforting. Your thoughts slow, even your body feels heavier now, more at ease with each breath. You picture those who came before, drifting into their own nights of rest, a child curled against her mother's side, her dreams mingling with the rhythm of her breathing. A hunter asleep by the fire, his spear resting at his side. A scribe, eyes heavy after hours of carving symbols into clay. They too knew the weight of sleep, the surrender to dreams, the release of day's burdens into the cradle of night. And now you follow in their footsteps, though their cities have faded, though their songs have quieted, though their rivers may have shifted course. Their essence lives on. It flows like water, sometimes visible, sometimes hidden, but always there. Tonight, in this quiet space, you are part of that flow. The ancient world holds you gently, like a memory, like a dream. And as you prepare to drift further inward, deeper into stillness, you know that this reflection is not an ending. It is simply a pause, a breath, a moment of peace before the journey continues elsewhere, perhaps in the landscape of dreams themselves. Your eyes grow heavier, the rhythm of your breath steadies, the past and present fold together, leaving you suspended in calm. The night carries you, the stars guide you, history soothes you, and as you sink into this deeper quiet, you are safe. You are at rest. You are ready to dream. The journey is complete. The last traces of the ancient world fade softly now, like mist dissolving at dawn. The temples, the rivers, the fields, they grow distant, not lost, but resting quietly in the folds of memory. You do not need to hold them anymore. You can let them drift. Let them sink into the dream space, where they will wait until another night, another story, another journey. What remains is only you. You here in the stillness of night. You resting, breathing, safe. Notice the weight of your body. Notice how it presses gently into the surface beneath you, supported fully, with nothing more required of you. There is nowhere you need to go, nothing you need to do. All the work of the day is already done. Now, your only task is to rest, to let go, to surrender into sleep. Take in a breath, slow and soft, and release. Again, a deep breath in, filling your lungs with calm, and out, releasing all that lingers, all that no longer serves you. Each breath grows slower, softer, deeper. Each breath carries you further into stillness. The mind may still whisper. Small thoughts, fragments of memory, echoes of conversation. They may rise, but you do not need to answer them. You do not need to engage. Let them drift like leaves upon a quiet river. Watch them pass. Watch them soften. Watch them fade. Your body knows what to do. Your breath knows what to do. All you must do is follow. The journey of history is complete. Now begins the journey inward. Imagine a door before you. The door is old, carved of smooth wood. It stands half open, waiting. Beyond it lies a garden of rest, a sanctuary of quiet. Step through the door. The ground beneath you is soft. The air is cool. The world is gentle. This is the space of dreams. The place where your body restores itself, where your mind floats free. The garden is filled with stillness. Trees rise tall, their leaves barely stirring in the night. A fountain glimmers at the center, its water flowing in slow silver arcs. Each drop is steady, rhythmic, soothing. You sit by the fountain, watching the water fall. And with each drop, your mind grows quieter. With each ripple, your body grows heavier. The stars appear again above you, but now they shine not as guides through history, but as guardians of rest. Each one a small, steady light, reminding you that the night is vast and safe. They shine for you, for your peace, for your healing. And as you gaze upward, your eyelids grow heavier, heavier with each passing moment, until they close gently without effort, without thought. Behind closed eyes, the stars remain. They glow softly, like embers, like fireflies, like the last candles of the night. Your breath is the tide now, in and out, in and out. Calm and slow, with each inhale, peace enters. With each exhale, tension fades. Breath after breath, deeper and deeper, until even the act of breathing feels effortless, natural, like a lullaby whispered by the body itself. The garden grows dimmer, softer, fading slowly into formless quiet. The fountain still flows, but its sound blends now with silence. The trees remain, but they dissolve into shadow, until at last there is nothing left but stillness, nothing but the quiet that carries you into sleep. And in that quiet, you are safe. You are whole. You are at rest. If dreams come, let them come gently. If sleep takes you, let it carry you fully. There is no rush, no urgency. Only the slow, steady embrace of night. Your mind drifts. Your body sinks. The world fades. You may hear my voice still, but it grows softer now, more distant, like the echo of wind across an empty plain. You do not need to follow anymore. You may let the words drift away. You may let them dissolve into the background until they are no longer words, but only sound. A sound that soothes, a sound that fades. The journey is complete. The day is done. You are safe. You are calm. You are at peace. Repeat this softly within. Safe, calm, peace. Again, whispering like a breath. Safe. calm, peace. Until the words fade too, leaving only the feeling. And as sleep draws nearer, you know this: you are not alone. You are part of the great stream of life, stretching across time, across memory, across dreams. You are carried by it, supported by it, loved by it. Now let go, fall softly, sink deeply, rest fully. If this journey brought you calm, if the past soothed your present, you are welcome to return another night, to walk again through history, to rest again in its embrace. And if you wish, you may stay connected, so that each night's journey is ready to guide you into peace. But for now, there is nothing more, only stillness, only rest. The journey is complete. The city fades into dreams. You are safe. You are at peace. You are asleep.